What's up, party people? Hey, boys.
Hey, gentlemen, what's happening?
Just Well, Denny and Brian just woke up from a nap, apparently. Quick nap while we put the kids to bed. We also dozed off. Uh, it's hibernating season, and I'm ready to hibernate.
Yeah, I'm not used to, I had that week at home again and then going back into the office. One day took it out of me already.
I went to the actual barber shop today, and I was the only idiot wearing a mask in there, and everybody had lots of wild opinions about what was going on and when the next shutdown is and how the presidency is going to turn out. I forgot that, one, I love being around people so much, but I also hate being around people so much. It was pretty wild in there. It's a cool place. They renovated one of the old buildings in Mullica Hill. They put a big pew down the center. So you go in, you sit on the pew, and then you get up and get in the barber chair. It's like an old school.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an old school setup. How was your fantasy football weekend?
Miserable.
Yeah.
Alex, you had a huge week.
And, I'm not expecting that on a weekly basis. Like we said, Artie, it was just a one and done. I think, unfortunately, CMC going to be out unlikely this week. They're thinking potentially multiple weeks. So yeah, I got at least 1 week out of it.
Yeah, it was the loss I expected to have because my team just absolutely stopped scoring. Once I lost Prescott and I lost now Ezekiel Elliott just kind of sucks. I got nothing. I'll be right back. I got to let the dog in.
No worries. Just got pinged at work anyway, so.
I'm definitely not looking forward to this week running into the well-oiled machine or the buzzsaw of Basic Breeze.
Lucky for you.
Ready
the only
to
thing
go.
that I can say, lucky for you though, Basic Breeze is she's going to be struggling here, I think. She's got let's see, players. Let's go to scoreboard.
What's interesting is there was a couple of weeks there where Court's team kind of cooled off. And you remember at the very beginning, she was predicted to win the whole thing. And after a couple of weeks like that, you can see it coming together. You can see it solidifying. So as much as you reached up and you hit the peak, Alex, and you immediately fell down, this team is climbing to the top. And goddamn, they're well-rounded.
And last week was a week where I really could have used a win to, separate me from the pack so that when we shut down next week, the league shuts down because everyone has COVID. I would have been the champion, but of course, shit the bed. Story of my life.
Do you think NFL players, they're going to get the vaccine first? Like, we need our football. We need the Super Bowl.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sports players come first because this is entertainment. It keeps the masses entertained, focused on the TV, not the real issues out there, man. Absolutely.
It really is crazy to me, like, of all the things, like, why are they not in a bubble? Like, this could be orchestrated and done in host cities in a bubble, much more well organized and maintained than it is, and you wouldn't have any of these issues. Like every week, it would not be an issue at all.
And the NFL has to have way more money than hockey and baseball, right?
Oh God, yeah. They don't even pay taxes.
Yeah, like
they don't. They're under this
dollars.
Yeah, it's minimal. Excuse me, it's minimal.
Yeah, but it's $750 a year.
Yeah. It's absurdly small. Yeah.
So looking at the standings there, as you were saying, you wanted to differentiate yourself. Man, we now have 5 teams with a 6-3 record. I mean, that seemed to pop up out of nowhere. Then we have 4 teams with a 5-4 record. So we have more winning teams than we have losing. It's not even 50-50. That's a wild spread there.
It is super tight this year. Yeah.
It's making it really complicated because everybody still thinks they have a chance. So nobody will accept any trades. Come on. I'm trying to just take dirt.
I don't know. I think I think Saquon has a really good chance of Saquon's thighs has a really good shot at making the postseason here.
I don't know. I think it was 36 points
week.
last game. Yeah.
She's heating up, guys. Step back.
Well, now watch. She's going to get Nick Chubb back, and she won't have to do anything with her lineup, and he'll,
36.5 points. I did not get a chance to pull if this was a league low. I'll start looking that up too. I'll add that to that little data sheet I have. But she's, like you said, lost Carson. Chubb's on IR, coming back this week. If she gets Carson and Chubb back, she actually has a decent squad. It's just been ravaged by injuries. The shallow bench this year has been really tough to manage. Maybe that's just my feeling, but it's been tough to manage. Like if it feels like normally you only have one or two injuries to deal with, but it feels like star player after star player is going on some type of injured reserve. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually weird because you wouldn't expect that with the fact that they didn't have the 4 preseason games, which is normally where you get, your injuries from the sloppy play, they almost sometimes benefit from having it seems, because these guys are suffering these silly injuries too, like a guy with like calf strain, just stupid shit. But this year seems to be the high ankle sprain year. It seems this year.
Yeah, I finally got Michael Thomas back in another league. First overall first round draft pick, 7 weeks, or what was it, 9 weeks. I haven't had him. It's been absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and it's terrible too when it's like an ankle sprain or turf toe, and you're like, how bad can that really be?
I don't know what it is. I don't think I've ever suffered from it, but I don't know that I'd ever admit that I've suffered from it.
I've definitely never been on turf.
It's like something that you could just say, like, just rip my toenail out and I'll be okay.
Fuck it, I broke my foot or something. Yeah. All right, we want to do last week's game or the upcoming games?
Let's take a look at last week's game. We'll take a look at everybody's schedule. And then do we have a trade deadline coming up?
We'll pull that. Yeah, that's a good point here. I think it's the week of Thanksgiving. I'll actually let me confirm that.
Listen, I'm staying home for Thanksgiving. I'm just staying home, man. I got nothing else. And I'm probably not going to make a turkey.
Oh, come on now. Really?
Turkey sandwich.
Come on, be honest. You cook a turkey, right? You eat I don't know, 1 ounce of turkey, and then you throw a whole 26-pound turkey in the trash.
No, it's about the leftovers and the sandwiches the days after. Come on, man.
No, if you have string bean casserole and you have sweet potato casserole, you have mashed potatoes, you don't need the turkey. The turkey's in the way.
Oh, you are just upsetting me. Okay. You know what? Well, here's the deadline, November 27th at 3 a.m. So while Brian's picking his turkey out of the trash, you have until 3 a.m. to get it done, okay?
It's just one sandwich.
It's just one.
One more.
All right. So November 27th at 3 a.m. is when the trade deadline hits. Trades have to be accepted prior to this in order for them to go through. There is a 2-day waiting period. So keep that in mind, guys. If you send a trade after Friday at 1 p.m. and it is accepted, the player will not be available for the Sunday 1 p.m. game. So keep that in mind. It's got to be accepted early Friday in order to be available for a Sunday 1 p.m. game.
What if they mail in their trade deadline?
A lot of tracking issues we're going to have with that one, but
as long as it gets postmarked.
Yeah, it's all that matters. We just need the postmark.
So before you dive into games real quick, can you see who would and who wouldn't make the playoffs at this moment?
We can take a look. League home. Where's it schedule? Sorry, schedule. Standings. Projected playoff bracket. Okay, so this is what we would have if the league were to end today. We would have Basic Breeze versus Parade Day Survivors, Boats and Throws versus Cadillac Baglini, Wolfman's got Nards versus First and Den. I would love the revenge matchup personally. Team Red Visor versus One and Done would be round out our quest for the Dutchman. And then we'll take a look at the Rusty Ass. Campaign Blazers versus Old Pyros. Knitter Please versus Philly Special. Chasing Summer versus Lego My Mago. And then the dumpster fire that is not such a girly girl versus Saquon Style.
You know what's interesting there is that Richard has a winning record and he would be in the loser bowl.
That's got to be a little bit on the frustrating side.
Yeah, there's the cutoff there.
Yeah.
But, it changes week to week. As we see, everybody still has a chance. So keep at it, guys. We're almost there.
Yeah, and, Richard's record here, that's kind of what we're going to see in the NFL when somebody from the NFC East wins with, I don't know, a 3-13 record, and somebody's 10-6, just looking at these trash teams from the NFC East being like, what the hell? What the hell?
And they're going to have to come play game in the NFC East.
That's just a road game too. That's just embarrassing. Okay, so let's pop back to week 9 real quick. We'll do a quick one of this game here. Philly Special. I played Philly Special this week. The team absolutely went off. Again, injuries already caught up to my team though. Big Ben, COVID-19, Christian McCaffrey, hurt shoulder. Dalvin Cook is good. Knock on wood, stays that way. Tyreek Hill is on a bye, so I am going to have a tough week here. So not expecting the same results. For Philly Special, this unfortunately they just ran into a buzzsaw. I don't know. They have a good squad here. Just it was a tough matchup, and my team just went off.
Yeah, that was an impressive score. Very nicely done.
It was really awesome. Like you said, you've been waiting for McCaffrey all this time. He comes back. He gives you exactly what you think he's going to. He overproduces for being out that long. Roethlisberger puts up all those points, and Dalvin Cook just continues to, hang around the 40-point mark every week. Him and Kamara easily making the case for MVP this season.
And not that we didn't see it coming, but we're already seeing Antonio Brown, his problems with Tom Brady. So maybe they didn't bury the hatchet back up in New England.
Yeah, maybe they didn't. I don't know, man. But so I'm really pumped with the way this came out. I didn't think Big Ben was going to have a big game. Luckily, for some reason, the Cowboys played them really close. So that was a bit of a shocker. And like you said, Dennis, I've been waiting, 6 or 7 weeks now for McCaffrey to come back. And not only he came back big.
Yeah. So now you have the chance for Roethlisberger to still play this week. He has the chance to test twice, get 2 negative tests, and he can possibly play. So he's not fully out of it, but it's not a desirable position to be in with, having to scramble. Plus, you like your guys, you like your bench, you don't want to have to risk losing one of those guys for,
exactly.
For the sake of, maybe Damian Harris, but who knows, but to bring in a quarterback, it does suck. Unless Ben, you can stash Ben on the IR for a week. That would be helpful for you if he's actually.
That's probably what I'll do is I'll put him in the COVID IR spot.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to drop this guy, Ross here, Dwelly.
Now that Jordan Reed is back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's move to the next one.
I was going to say, so you're talking about the Dallas. So our kitchen table, we were eating dinner Sunday night and sitting at the kitchen table and the Cowboys game was on. And the TV happened to be on. Henry's looking over and he's distracted and he sits there and he looks back at me and he says, Dad, it looks like that Dallas team, the Cowboys, don't actually suck.
That's awesome.
And of course, Jill shoots daggers right at me. And I was like, I didn't tell him that. I'm pretty sure he learned it from Hannah. But yeah, I would love to hear him say it, especially so it's like it's born in him just to say it. It comes out automatically. They do suck. They blew the game. So I was glad that we could come back and reconfirm that. But it really came back to bite me because I was banking on a big win, a big lead for the Steelers so that Benny Snell could maybe get in there and, run the ball for the last quarter of the game. That was my approach there, and blew up in my face when they underperformed.
Yeah, because you were talking to me about this, if Benny Snell would be a solid start here. And, I was, right there with you, thinking that Dallas is going to be behind big. No reason to risk James Conner. Snell will probably get a lot of touches in the fourth quarter, maybe get a garbage time touchdown, throw him in there.
Yeah, but Conner was a bust this week too, so it didn't matter either way.
Yeah, for sure. That was a real shocker.
Yeah. For me, what happened was, so I had Mike Laird. I switched him out. He didn't do much better, so it didn't make any effect in the game. He had 1.5 points versus the 0, so that does nothing for me. The thing that killed me was the goddamn Packers letting up garbage time touchdowns, especially one with 4 seconds left in the game, and cutting their point total in half.
Let McKinnon score with 4 seconds left. What the hell?
I looked like a genius playing the Packers, and then they came back with a mediocre output. Not that the Bucs did anything; they got destroyed. So I did well there, but overall,
we did make the swap of Henderson for Anderson. I was wide receiver desperate. You were looking for some running back help. I think Henderson has a good schedule coming up. I like Robbie Anderson targets. So I think this was a pretty even swap here. Again, I felt guilty sending it over to you since he was on the bye, but you were telling me you have that big picture forward thinking mind. I like that.
Yeah. I was hoping, like I said, I could squeak by this week with, enough, but again, Kyler Murray just lit it up. And then when I went down the line, I saw Sarah didn't even, had one guy on the bye. She didn't even switch out. Another guy with 3 points. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, she still put up 120 points. I lost,
it doesn't seem like it should add up.
I hate losing to teams where a player is not switched out for a bye. I'm fine if a player doesn't put up 0 points or something, but when it's just he's injured and he's out or he's on the bye and you still lose that game, it's so demoralizing.
So I had a moment Sunday. I got up. I just went right to work. I was just busy with stuff around the house, and it got to be 2:00, and I thought, oh shit, I didn't check my lineup before the game started at 1:00. I hadn't checked, and I thought, oh, they'll never live it down if somebody got pulled or had switched it out for me. So I'm with you.
I was gonna say you started Elliott, and I knew he was a true game time decision. I was brass cojones. Now I know the stories behind it. It was just an accidental. You're just busy.
Yeah, I was fixing a toilet. Which, by the way, right, so everybody on here will appreciate this. Anybody listening. So I wanted to replace the toilet, got the old one out. In the YouTube videos, they're like, just lift it off. Of course, you got to fucking jam the thing and scrape up the old caulk. Anyway, so I put a rag in the holes to keep the fumes from coming up. I put the new toilet on. I assemble it. I put the tank on, got everything ready to go. And I go, you fucking idiot. You left the rag in there. So then I take it all apart, get down, take the rag out, put the toilet back on again, new wax seal. And I go to tighten the bolt, and the bolt breaks from the flange on the floor. I'm like, you were done. You were done. It was just everything that could go wrong. So then, 20 minutes to the hardware store and back, then 40 minutes screwing with this flange repair kit to try to get it to work. I mean, eventually it all came together, but the YouTube video says a toilet change should take 20 minutes. It really takes 4.5 hours.
There's nothing more insulting when they label a job or a repair easy. And, like you said, 20 minutes, and it takes you 4 hours, and the profanity you teach your children is absurd. Yeah.
I think it would make for a great YouTube series though, when they're like, here's all the ways you could fuck up. And it's just them filming me around my house. But I am glad that I remembered that the rag was in there, because that would have been a much bigger issue.
Yeah, good catch beforehand for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that would have been a much more difficult cleanup after that.
Yeah. I only had to call my dad once. That's how I judge my projects. Like,
Did you think to yourself, like, is there any way I can get this rag out without having to take the toilet off?
no, I went for
Let's
it
just
because,
snake this thing.
yeah, down there pinching it. Too funny.
All right, before we move on, the only thing I'd say is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man, has this guy, look, Le'Veon Bell has not been playing well. I'm not understanding Andy Reid's methods here. He's normally a workhorse running back guy, but I don't know if they're just trying to save CEH, but the last few weeks, he has just not seen the touches or the production. He hasn't had a big game, but he normally is getting the volume, which gives him the chance at the big game. Now he's no longer seeing the volume. He saves his day with a touchdown here. But this guy, I have him in another league, so I'm really disappointed with him personally. I'm labeling him a bust, and I know that's tough for a rookie. Rookies rarely do very well their first, their first year, being their first year in the league. But this kid came in with a lot of hype. I was expecting much more out of him this far.
Yeah, and not running anybody else really other than Mahomes. Just letting him have all the carries. I don't know what's going on with that team. It seemed like they took a flyer on Bell, and then they're like, okay, you don't have it, so I'll just cut him. Like,
yeah, you suck. You
yeah,
suck. You really do suck. It wasn't just the Jets.
Yeah, it was a live practice.
I guess when your quarterback is throwing a 25-1 ratio touchdowns to interceptions, you're just going to keep balling out with him.
Yeah.
Is that good?
25 touchdowns to 1 interception on the season.
He's the real Willie Beeman.
Yeah, he is. All right, so we have the Boothman daughters, or Boothman sisters, facing off here. Parade Day survivors versus Saquon's thighs. Not exactly the bonanza we were anticipating. Saquon's thighs, 36 points. Parade Day survivors, 85, comes away with the win. Jerick McKinnon, Nick Foles, Allen Robinson, and Cooks are your high scores, as well as Nick Folk, the kicker, your high scores for this team. They had no real other options on the bench with buys. As for Saquon's thighs, Chris Carson being hurt, we talked about this a little bit, managing some injuries here. The squad just did not have a good day. Tom Brady puts up a stinker with -1 point. Not really sure what else to say about this one.
No, it kind of went the way I expected to.
Although, again, like I said, you expected more points. You never think Tom Brady is going to have a day like that, especially when he's projected to get 26 points. And you leave with -1. Same thing like Gronk, just he was heating up, but he's only going to go as far as, as Brady. So you expect to see that when you have the 2 negative points. And Justin Jackson got injured in that game, and, for the Chargers, and that hurts too. And now that puts he could miss a little bit of time with Nick Chubb coming back. She shouldn't worry too much about that. But now you're going to have a mad scramble for that backup Chargers running back on the waiver wire this week.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting situation here because there hasn't been an update on what Jackson's injury is. Now, the 2 options to replace him are Balaj, Kalen Balaj, who's on the practice squad. They can send him back, or this guy, Tremaine Pope. So we'll see. Pope was ruled out last game because of a concussion from the week before. He had jumped in and quickly surpassed Kelly, who's on Richard's squad. But, this guy, it's either going to be Pope or more Kalen Balaj. And what's really been tough about this year playing fantasy football, in my opinion, is that because of the COVID restrictions, you're not seeing as many reporters. Reporters are not allowed on site. They're dealing with trying to get information through the reports that are required to be published by the NFL teams. And there's limited information. We're not getting the benefit of what they're seeing on the practice field. So that's really impacting like who to pick up here. is sorry for that long-winded response here, but that's impacting who to pick up. We're not getting that insight that's provided by people being able to be there each and every week.
Yeah,
certainly. That's actually, that's a really good point. Didn't really think about that.
I'm so surprised.
Do you think? Okay, so people, would say Tom Brady's greatest of all time, right? No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But he sucks so much sometimes. Like, do you think Michael Jordan, greatest of all time, had games and months on end where he sucked? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't.
I guess it's maybe number of games. Like Michael Jordan could spread those out over 80 games a season or whatever it is. So maybe it's different. But when Tom Brady's off, that guy is terrible.
Yeah, and when you think about him, because the talent he has down there right now that's not a bad team. That's a good team.
It's not. It's the most talent he's ever had. And I don't know what you guys think, but did bringing in AB maybe upset that balance? They had a really good thing going here, and they've added something that was not really wanted. Arians at the beginning of the season said, AB, no way. Tom Brady definitely said, I want AB on the team. They brought him in. Now, you need more than one data point to, determine a trend here. But, first game with AB, and it was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody forgot how to run their routes. It's interesting.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one here. Now, this is where I feel bad for people like Chuck. Anybody that broke 40 points, my point is that, you're having an off week, right? And then you look at the scoreboard and you see Saquon's thighs at 36 points, and you say, why the hell can't I play that team this week? Now, I think Uncle Chuck has got to be thinking this here, because 103, Deshaun Watson does his thing, 28 points. Kamara has an off day, still puts up 12 points. Jimmy Graham, Juju, both come through, as well as Harrison Butker. Solid score, 103. Normally breaking 100, that's what it takes to win. Unfortunately, like you said, Basic Breeze continues on her winning ways here. She's in first place because she's the second highest scoring team right now. Aaron Rodgers, 38 points. James Robinson has been an absolute gem. DK Metcalf, 21.5. Did you guys know the Eagles could have drafted him?
I heard a rumor.
Titans DST comes through. And then, so just overall, this team was carried mostly by Rodgers and Metcalf. But still, the guys that she needed to come through came through for her to pull out the win here.
Her team is so good right now, like in lineup. I just thought to myself, next year I'm just going to auto draft a team, because I can't even put together a team like this.
When's the last time you saw someone carrying 2 kickers and still just no big deal? Doesn't need the space on a roster for anyone else of depth. Just kicking ass like that.
When I go through my trade things, I just skip over court. I don't like that. Like who would trade a player off that team?
I mean, so Dennis, you and I are having this. I've tried telling her you don't need 2 kickers. I'm just going to roll with 2 kickers.
You think that there's a market for kickers?
There might be. You never know.
For you crazy person. The rest of us are never trying to get a better kicker.
I don't understand it.
That's another one of those positions like defense where I think you could just roll week to week.
Absolutely.
With the player and hit pay dirt.
Yeah, the only time I change it is if there's a bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than using a waiver priority claim on a freaking kicker. So
wait,
I definitely want to. I'll never do a waiver claim, but I will do last week. I knew Gould was going to be off. I probably could have stashed him, but I saw that the guy from Carolina was doing better, so I'm going to roll with him moving forward. But that's also that's an ad, but not a waiver claim.
I guess my problem is my needs are in so many other places. The kicker, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have a quarterback. I need a running back. I need a wide receiver. Kicker doesn't register.
I hear you, man. I rarely put priority on it, and you year over year, kickers rarely perform in the same manner. There's a handful, sure. But normally it's not like, I don't know. It's not consistent enough for me to say that I got to prioritize a kicker. So, all right.
The one knock she has going right now as well. Noah Fant, it sounds like he's injured. He's going to be missing some time, but she has Jared Cook to throw right in there. And then running back, maybe a little situation there with Jonathan Taylor having a very short leash because of the fumbling problems. Carrying over from college, maybe, that could start affecting things, but, who knows? When does Kenyon Drake come back? And it's not even.
That's a good point. So Kenyon Drake's been labeled day to day, but she picked up Jordan Wilkins. So if Taylor does not come through this week, Tennessee's got a leaky defense. If Taylor does not prove it this month or this week, she can easily hop to Wilkins, and the schedule coming up for them is nothing that I would be afraid of. Let's just pull it up real quick.
Well, this is why it's nice to have two kickers, because she's going to have to move that guy out of the IR spot. And the obvious one to drop is the kicker.
Absolutely.
Right. It makes
We'll probably see Ronald Jones on the waiver wire now that we said that, though. Sorry. So Tennessee, Green Bay, Tennessee again, Houston, Las Vegas, Houston, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville. The only team that worries me is Pittsburgh there. Other than that, those run defenses are garbage. Yeah. So Jonathan Taylor, if you're listening to this, I know you tune in from time to time. Clean it up, man. Let's go.
I know your father. Don't make me have to get him involved.
Tim,
we have to start calling your parents, man. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Knitter, please. 130. Campaign Blazers drops to 4-5 with 112.5. Again, this is what makes you say, why can't I play the team putting up 36.5 points? All right. So let's see. Knitter, please gets only 15 points out of Lamar Jackson, but Devontae Adams and DJ Shark carry this team. Excuse me. And how could I forget Jerry Jeudy, 23.5. Yeah. The wide receivers carry this team to victory. Knitter, please says no need for any decent running back. Combined for 9.5 points. Now, Campaign Blazers is normally known for having a very steady and consistent scoring. This is the 112 would have beaten 11 other teams in the league this week. Okay. That is incredibly frustrating here. Josh Allen back to 34 points. Stephon Diggs, 17.5. Travis Kelce, 22 points. Outside of that, your next leading scorer is your kicker, Koo, as well as Antonio Gibson at 10.5. Just a frustrating week for Campaign Blazers, who now has a losing record and would be outside of the playoffs if it finished today, despite being the highest scoring team in the league.
That's insane. That doesn't make any sense.
And one thing I always like looking at too is Knitter Police threw everything she had at her and wound up getting the win, because when you look at her bench, 3 players on the bye and 1 guy who had 0 points. So really, it was worked out perfectly in that respect. I guess she could maybe put Mark Ingram in there. But yeah.
Absolutely. No, like you said, she threw everything at it. She did a great job setting her lineup, in November. So, oh my God, 2020 really can't get any weirder. But even looking at Campaign Blazers bench, there was really nothing they could have done here. They had, Tannehill, that you don't start Tannehill right now. Colts DST, I probably would have gone Dallas as well. And then J.K. Dobbins just did not get what we thought out of him. And Robert Woods was on the bye. So there was no misses on either team. No. And for Knitter Please, they just went off.
I mean, look at when you look at the projected points going into it. And, Knitter Please was looking at 87 to 124.2.
Right.
And, Katie's team, not far off from what was projected, 12 points off of what was projected. And Knitter Police just really caught fire. Good game.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even catch that. I didn't realize that Knitter Police was only projected to score 87 points, which should have been a sure win, with the differential there. And good Lord, not even close. All right. Let's go to the next one. All right, B-Man, you're up. Walk us through it. How'd this go?
My team has just decided to stop scoring points over the last 3 weeks, and it finally resulted in a loss. Yeah, I got nothing. There's no one to be had anywhere in the league. Nobody wants to trade. There's no guys to pick up. So I just have to hope that these guys get back on track, that Elliott gets a touchdown anytime. And then I think it's been 3 weeks since he's had a touchdown. That's crazy.
Now, I know it's quick to jump. Did you see someone, it might have even been Troy Aikman, suggested maybe he's already past his prime?
Damn.
I think that's quite a stretch, but that'd be something if he's already peaked.
Yeah, that's how it starts going. I didn't have it. I didn't leave points on the bench. It just wasn't a good go. Maybe I'll have to pay a little bit more attention to my kicker this week. Even though I had a terrible score going into last night's game, I still had a chance. New England just needed to cover like 11 points, and I thought, oh, I might actually this one out, but didn't go my way.
Again, though, looking at your projected point totals, you should have easily put up 100 points on a regular day, and came in 30 points under on that.
Yeah, the only one who's been really consistent is Gurley. Like he's been 10 to 13 points.
Yeah,
over and over and over.
He keeps falling into the end zone, which is all you need from him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Emmanuel Sanders has been a solid pickup for you, 11 points here. But like you said, your main running back has not produced recently, and that's just because they've been devastated with injuries. But you also bring up a good point, is that he's supposed to be an elite running back. Elite running back should be able to break or bust out that major play at any time, right? And we're just not seeing that from Elliott right now. So maybe he is over the hill, but I think it's a little soon to be saying that. I know he's dealing with a couple injuries, so maybe a little too soon to be saying he's over the hill, but I don't think we're too far from that.
I'm with you.
And this has to be another frustrating one, because this was another one. Rita did not play, correct?
Correct.
So he, that's points, they were in Richard's lineup, 0 points for a player that didn't play. Then he has, his tight end only puts up half a point. You're thinking, this should be an easy win for you. And it's disappointing when that happens. And especially, like I said, when you log in and you see like a player that's out still in an active lineup on an opposing team, like,
start to feel great.
I'm good. Yeah.
Or the Elliott, let's feast, baby.
Yeah. I'll swap Goddard in next week and sniff around for quarterbacks. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you get Goddard, Fulgham back here. You have pretty good wide receivers. You can get, JaMychal Hasty. You probably are swapping out for Todd Gurley here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have pretty good options here. You're really healthy at the tight end position. The question is, who out there needs a tight end, in my opinion?
I tried to deal a tight end. Didn't go my way.
Damn. Might be calling you about a tight end. That sounds
right. You're in one of those positions too. I mean, do you take a chance? I mean, Newton, it's tough watching him play. It can be frustrating, and then whenever they're on the goal line, he's running the ball, so you can always count on on him getting rushing touchdowns and getting points there.
Yep, I agree about that.
Same thing with Tua. Tua is looking decent, but is this a couple games? But also a good sneaky pick in there. He's starting to rebound and look a lot better as Kirk Cousins. He's had a couple solid past couple games. He's had, I think, average over 20 points the past couple.
Yeah, so definitely open to switching it up. If you would have seen the pending moves I had over the last week, it would have just like changed my whole team. We would have had to been like go over every step of it. But
I would have basically redrafted.
Yeah, a mulligan.
All right, so moving on to Cadillac Baglini versus Not Such a Girly Girl. This was a dogfight, 85.5 to 82. Not Such a Girly Girl was hoping to pick up her second win. Unfortunately, Cadillac Baglini moves to 6-3, retains fourth place. This was just tough. Matthew Stafford gets knocked out in the third quarter with a concussion, though he wasn't off to a great day. David Johnson also knocked out with a concussion for Baglini. So, tough week here for both of these teams. 49ers DST puts up 0 points. They get Michael Thomas back. Sorry, going to Not Such a Girly Girl. They get Michael Thomas back, Julio Jones, and Will Fuller. These wide receivers are probably the three most elite wide receivers right now, and they still can't pull out the win.
Yeah, no running back help on this team.
None. Look at the wide receivers on our bench.
I was just going. That's where I was heading.
Holy
50
crap,
points sitting on
Calvin
the
Ridley's
bench.
in the IR. Like, what the hell?
Do you think she'll just like give us each one?
Since we're so nice to her,
Yeah.
do you think she will? Early Christmas gifts?
Please.
Anything we want to cover in this game?
No, Joey's hanging in there. Top team.
He really is. He's getting there. Aaron Jones came back last week. I think it was a good move not to play him. They said he was going to be on a snap count. That appeared not to be the case.
Yeah.
So, he's got a running back already on the team that he can easily swap in for David Johnson should he not be ready to go.
Yeah.
All right.
In the playoffs.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right. The last one, Lego My Mego versus Chasing Summer. 3-6 for both of them. 101.5 to 80 is the final score. And Chasing Summer's squad was largely carried by Drew Lock. 33 points. Keenan Allen, 22. DJ Dallas falls into the end zone, saves his day. Le'Veon Bell looks absolutely washed at this point. Ravens DST, actually picked up that Taylor fumble. That's what saves their day to get them to 14 points and return that for a touchdown. Looking at Mego's team, Matt Ryan puts up 27 points, a pretty good day. DeAndre Swift gets in for 10.5. TJ Hawkinson, 11.5. But then, unfortunately, that's the only player or players to get into double digits for the squad. And we mentioned this when we were doing the podcast last week during the Thursday night game. The two players from San Francisco being put on COVID-19 injured reserve really hurt this squad. It was a last-minute call, so she was just unable to make changes, which really, unfortunately, took her out of competition for this week.
Yeah. And even with that, still put up 80 points, which is not a terrible showing, all things considered. And some of the other points, it could have been a win. Certain other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Considering she had two players not play, like you said, this is that's pretty good.
Yeah, I played all my best and only put up 86.
And so that wraps up week 9.
What's that?
Anything else we want to cover in that game?
No, I think that's about it.
All right. So we can take a quick look at the standings.
Pyros falling down from 1 to 9.
Yeah, 1 to 9.
With a win.
With a win. Oh, it's current roster setting. So this morning I was in third. I was projected for third. I'm in sixth because I don't have a QB in my starting roster right now.
Gotcha.
They've already ruled, what's his name? Roethlisberger is out. So I can put him in the IR slot. Cadillac Bagolini projected to win it, followed by Basic Breeze at 2. Campaign Blazers coming in at 3. And Team Red Visors jumping up to 4. Yeah, interesting move. A lot of moves occurring this week in terms of finishes, projected finishes. So, it's the league is still hopping here. And just a reminder, we are going into week 10, right? So if we finish this week, the season, we will consider this a full, complete season. If in week 11, they should shut down or cancel the remainder of the season and beyond.
And what week do our playoffs start?
13, after week 13.
Okay.
14, 15, 16 are our playoffs. Week 16 is our championship.
All right.
All right.
Anything else we want to go over?
Want to just quickly pick the games this week?
Yeah, works for me.
Yeah, let's run through.
All right. We won't go into the rosters here, but Wolfman's got Nards, Cadillac, Mangolini. I think, frankly, I lost Big Ben and CMC. I got to lean. I'm going Cadillac Maglini unless I can pull something off the waiver wire.
Yeah, I think you lost a lot of points this week, and it's going to be tricky to replace him. Cadillac.
Agreed.
Yeah,
That sucks because
I agree.
that could be the game that decides whether or not you make the playoffs.
Pretty much. And I have a pretty difficult schedule coming up here too. So not that Cadillac Maglini is something that, a pushover, but it just only gets harder from here. So I need wins early.
Although, who does he have as his he's got other backup running backs on his squad that he can fill in with.
Yeah, I think he's getting Coleman back.
Johnson's going to be missing probably the game, they were saying. So he's got Jones.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards.
Ooh, but what I didn't realize is that he has Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. No Big Ben. Somebody's in trouble. All right. That was creepy. I apologize. Parade Day Survivors versus Team Red Visor. I'm going to go lean towards, I'm without looking at the rosters, I'll go Parade Day Survivors.
I was going to go Red Visor. Red Visor's heating up, and I like Murray over Foles.
Yeah, like Murray over Foles? I would too.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Red Visor, although she right now it looks like her projected leaders are counting for 2 quarterbacks, so I don't know how much truth is there. But the last time they told me she was only going to put up 70 points, she beat me by 30. So.
Let's see. First and 10 versus Basic Breeze. Looking at the rosters here, I got to lean Basic Breeze, but I would never count out First and 10.
Denny, did you have 2 losses in a row?
Yes. Yeah. I'm staring the third one.
First and 10 recaptures the lead here.
I like it.
I sure hope so. I hope, I love Aaron Rodgers, so I hope he has a terrible, terrible day. I hope his girlfriend breaks up with him and it ruins his week. DK Metcalf, I know, is going to ruin my week. He's going to just be sitting there staring. He's going to stare right at the TV at me and be like, could have had me, pal. Thank Howie.
The bane of your existence. All right, Saquon's thighs. Knitter, please. The Boothman sisters face off round 2 here. I'm actually going to go Knitter, please, on this one, really because Saquon's thighs needs to get healthy in order to compete.
Yeah, I think Knitter, please, actually listens to these. And the team is fixed up as I see it right now. So, yeah, you got it, Knitter.
Yeah, the only thing I think Saquon has to, counter with this is Chubb and Carson this week. If not, I think it's Knitter, please.
That's a good point. If they do get Chubb back, actually it might tilt towards Saquon.
Do either of you guys have a keeper in mind for next year already?
I haven't really thought about it yet.
Neither have I. I normally try to keep one player. I don't have one right now.
And you can't keep the same guy.
Right.
Will it account for your first round draft pick again?
Nope. So we're going to do a live draft again next year. We're just going to mask up, whatever it takes, social distance, because I really did not enjoy that experience online, the platform that is. So for next year, just as a reminder, you can keep one player, cannot be the same player as the person you kept from the previous year. You will give up the round in which you drafted them, which is capped at the 10th round. So if you drafted somebody in the 11th and beyond, it's automatically a 10th round pick.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say earlier is that I try and keep one player on my squad at all times that I want to keep for the next season. Right now, my keeper this year was CMC or Christian McCaffrey. And since I really didn't get to use him this year, it kind of sucks. But right now, other than that, I don't see any keepers I really want to for next year just yet.
Yeah, my approach was, based off of the assumption of an in-person draft, which is different because of your seating and where that player is. So, I took Josh Jacobs first round this year. Not that I wouldn't be interested in keeping him again. I just don't know, where that's going to go. I like the making that first pick instead of having it already done for me. So if I can find depth elsewhere, further down in my lineup or towards the end of the season, maybe grab a guy that's out there to stash, like Alex said, I may be looking to do that.
Awesome.
All right, one and done versus Philly special. All right.
Yeah, this is a good one because they're both coming off a loss.
Yeah.
Both teams are built solid.
I think this is going to be an absolute dogfight here, and I love it. Now, one and done has some buys to deal with here, but I think it's a get-right game for DeAndre Hopkins, who struggled last week. I think I'm leaning one and done this week.
Me too, because that Antonio Brown's a wild card.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I think the only thing, one thing that I think helps him this week is, again, if Johnson for the Texans doesn't play and the other Johnson gets in, he's got a solid running back tandem with Kamara and him. Smith-Schuster could wind up hurting him a little bit if Big Ben does not play. But really, yeah, I still see it as a toss-up, though. I think just for my own best interests with the league position, I've got to root against old Chaz. But, I wouldn't be surprised if he won.
Don't count him out.
Yeah.
All right. Campaign Blazers versus Old Pyros. 4-5, 5-4, 9th and 10th place. Here we go. I'm leaning Campaign Blazers, gets back on the winning path here because Patrick Mahomes is on a bye, and that is largely the scoring for this team.
Sorry about that. I was watching the video.
No worries.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep up with you guys watching the same thing.
As long as Katie can make up for those substitutions she's going to have to make, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like there's some replacements available.
Yeah, she's got some guys, Woods, Dobbins. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. But like you said, two DST. I think we pointed out she has two DSTs. I don't know if I would carry two. Cowboys, she'll probably drop and try and fill one of those holes. In need of a tight end.
Yeah.
All right.
You're just going to need one of those.
Boats and throws versus Lego Momego. All right. Who are we going here with this one?
Maddie Ryan's on a bye or out?
Maddie Ryan's on a bye. That means your girlie's on a bye.
Yeah.
And she's also assuming that the two receivers from San Fran are off of the COVID.
Bourne just got put it back on it.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. So he's out. He's most likely going to be out.
Yeah. And Mike Evans he's there, but he's not the caliber player that everyone wants him to be every year, which is a shame because he always gets drafted high because of his potential.
I can't one without Matt Ryan. She can't win. Matt Ryan's 30 points a week and has been for the last 20 years.
Although the Rams are playing Seattle and she has Jared Goff, and Seattle's defense is not what they used to be. As we can see, that's a good matchup for them, but it's interdivision, so maybe Seattle plays them tougher than we thought.
I also can't imagine that Ezekiel Elliott has another bad week and that Goddard is totally missing in the lineup. Like he's got to get some kind of points. Like
Cowboys are on a bye, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right. He won't have a bad week.
Won't have a bad week.
He's going to have a very good week.
But the week after that, man.
He's coming back. All right. So let's see. I'm going to lean. I'm going boats and throws on this one too. I think Carr has been playing pretty well. Todd Gurley. I mean, you have some need at the running back, but I like your receivers of Thielen and Fulgham. Thielen's had 2 down games, which typically means a big one's coming his way. Fulgham, I think is going to continue to carry the way here. And, I think Lego Momego puts up a good fight, but with a couple players on bye and COVID-19, I think it's just hard to bounce back here.
Denny, it would be cool to pick up Cousins and then have him and Thielen go off, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad move. Who are they playing this week?
Chicago.
It's a division matchup, but yeah, they definitely could. They absolutely could. I think I'm going to give Brian the win on this one.
The trash bowl is coming up.
The last, 1-8, not such a girly girl, looking to get her second win of the season versus Chasing Summer. 66.6 projected versus 73.4 for Chasing Summer. Here we go. All right. Le'Veon Bell is on a bye. I don't know how Chasing Summer will overcome that. DJ Dallas, we'll see if he still has a role. If this is, I would hold on to him to see what happens with Chris Carson. My initial look at this, let me just look at the benches real quick.
Got to get Jarvis Landry up there.
I got to go.
Holiday, hopefully he's healthy. Because it hurts, tight ends are so finicky, playing them, having to play one as a flex, flex spot. I think that kind of hurt him last week. So if he keeps Hunter Henry and Tanyan in there, but if he can move one of those other wide receivers up there, I think it puts him in much better position.
For sure. I'm actually going to go not such a girly girl in this one. I know that sounds crazy. I just think the wide receivers pay off for her this week.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm going with Chasing Summer only because I think Hagel is considering this a look past game because she knows the Kiss Bowl is the following week. So I think she's not. Her head's not in it. She's not thinking about it.
I understand. That's fair enough.
Yeah, I think Rob gets the win on this one.
Why you think I cleaned up my kisser?
All right, that's all I had, guys. You have anything else you want to talk about?
No, that was fun.
Yeah, as always.
All right. See you guys later.